Hello and welcome to Gender Discourse. I'm Sohela Kapoor. Violent crimes against women have increased in the recent years, and this has been discussed threadbare in the country, including in the country's highest deliberative body, the Parliament, in its past session. Yet the issue remains unresolved. Fortunately, technology offers some solutions. Mobiles can be an effective medium in removing the feeling of insecurity amongst women with the integration of SOS facility and GPS. The basic function of mobile apps is to send an SMS to the user's family or friends during emergencies. How effective have these apps been since they first came into the market after the Nirbhay rape case in 2012? We discuss this issue today with an expert panel consisting of Dr. Muktesh Chandra, Special Commissioner Traffic, Delhi Police, and Karnika Seth, Chairperson, Cyber Laws Consulting Center. Welcome to both of you. Okay. Right. Now, I will ask you, ma'am, what is the basic function of these apps and how do they work? Since you're a cyber expert.
Yes, these mobile applications basically assist women in terms of emergency or when they are in a sort of a threat for attack, and whenever they are in a situation where they need immediate help from the police or any law enforcement, they can immediately use the application. Very simple procedures for registration, registering them is required. Basically, the need is of a phone number, a mobile number, their name, and relatives details. For example, there could be any close relatives. Minimum 2 is required for most applications, and once they register, they have the app link and they download the app. In case there is an emergency, they can immediately either say shake the phone by help of an SMS, or it could be just an alarm which they could press a button on the phone, and this would immediately send SMSs to all the relatives that have been notified. Also, it would lead to a police control room number where the control room could access what is happening in the background in case there is any video which could be taken, or the audio surroundings are recorded, basically in what environment the particular victim or the person is. So that could be captured, which will assist in the evidentiary aspects, or even investigation, or reaching out to the victim in emergency cases. Also, the Delhi Police had recently launched an app called Himmat. The whole connectivity is such that once the notification goes to the police control room, even the police mobile vans which are around that area are notified, so that they can immediately reach out to the victim or the person in distress. And they could also, the notification is sent to the local police station SHO. So with the help of this quick network and the connection, immediate access to the person is possible.
Karnika, could the reason be that the police and the judiciary have a lack of understanding of gender issues, and that and it's also basically a patriarchal mindset that is obstructing?
I would not agree to the
justice here.
Proposition that it could be because the police or the judiciary lack the understanding on gender issues. I think they've done a wonderful job so far. The judiciary's also made a lot of effort into putting in judgments and ratios.
I'd like to intercede here. In most of these cases, what the judge or the policeman is looking for is a reconciliation rather than looking at a woman's needs and demands.
Well, it is a matter of perception, how one would see. Any woman, I feel, has an instinct of motherhood, within her. So as a result, she is constructive. And the whole idea of a family, especially in cases of domestic violence, is to actually reconcile, because it is for the betterment of the entire family, especially if they have children. So that being the mindset, obviously the judiciary also has that bent that if the family can be saved, they would want to do that.
Yes.
Unless there is, of course, a total breakdown of communication, and the family cannot function and they have to separate. So that is the mindset. The idea is in good faith, and it is for their best interest. So I feel that's a correct view to take. And also, secondly, when we talk about patriarchal society, times are changing. We are in an age where we have cyber awareness. We are increasing cyber awareness, mobile applications being one way of justifying this proposition that I gave. And also the fact that the education system, what professions girls never used to adopt, even law, I would say, or I've seen women driving taxis today. I've seen women at the petrol stations today. It gives me a sense of pride. I mean, there's no more time when we are in a patriarchal society. At least I can see the manifestation of that dream. The women are already conquering and doing exceptionally well in their own professions, and therefore the times have changed. So we don't obviously one would obviously see that this should grow in the future rather than take a back seat. We would like women to progress.
Now, Karnika, what are the forms of violence, that we can take into account over here?
Yes,
physical, sexual, psychosocial, yes.
Yeah, well, I was just listening to this conversation. Yes. I feel that mobile apps are there today, but does a woman really understand that a particular law is being breached or violated, and she is becoming victimized to a particular act which is illegal? A lot of women don't have that awareness. We talk about general domestic law, talk about criminal law, or even cyber law.
Yes.
I would say that these are all essential for us to understand when is the breach made.
You yourself have written a couple of books on cyber laws.
Yes, one is the Computers, Internet and New Technology Laws. Another one is protection of children on the internet, and recently I launched an app which is for cyber awareness called IT Act and Cyber Law by Lex Siberia and State Associates. And this app is basically bringing awareness for children, for women, or even in general, what are the best practices, how one can safeguard privacy and one's security on the internet. So that's going to be useful, a read. I mean, that's an Android based application again, and for free. So that's something that would be helpful. And when we talk about, for example, crimes, now violence can be in various forms.
Yes.
Whether it is emotional, whether it is something like a sexual assault, it could be a criminal assault, it could be criminal intimidation, it could be extortion, and for women even dowry demands, it could be rape. And there are various forms of outraging modesty of a woman.
Right.
Even a gesture, even a word, or even a sign or a drawing or a representation which is indecent is also something which is illegal. You cannot have indecent representation of women. There is an act for that.
Yes, absolutely.
Now for cyber law, we have section 66E, violating a privacy of a woman.
Yes.
Again, is punishable offense, up to 5 years of imprisonment, like 3 years of imprisonment. And section 67A, containing any sexually explicit content through MMSs or otherwise, is also publishing, transmission of those kind of images or any kind of online content which is video recorded is also illegal. So obscenity as such, when you're outraging a modesty of a woman in any way, is also illegal. So there are punishments from 3 years term to about 5 years term, and even above that. So in various acts, whether it is IPC, the general conventional crimes like you could say rape or dowry demand, 498A is all there in the IPC. But when you talk about cyber related, they're all in the IT Act, and then there are special laws for women. You have the Indecent Representation of Women's Act. So therefore, there are laws to protect women in various ways. Then the cruelty can be of diverse nature.
Yes, absolutely.
As regards case, I'd like to add there is the National Commission of Women also today.
Yes, of course.
And then there are various NGOs helping out. Apart from that, there are state legal authorities which give free legal aid to the women in need. And in many cases, they have obtained that help. And many of their cases get resolved through Lok Adalats, which are conducted from time to time. So there is a possibility, even if one belongs to a not so well-off condition. I mean, you would not be able to afford the heavy fees which legal system really requires you to spend. Even free legal aid is possible. So that's something which most women would probably not know, that they can get this legal access. I mean, this particular help is there available for free.
Yes,
Yeah,
but
I want to just add
yes.
to, there are some apps which also help in collection of evidence. For instance, there are, for instance, women who are suffering from harassment in their office or at home. It won't prevent it, but it'll help.
I will have to
collecting-
interrupt you
Yeah,
here.
okay.
We've got a phone call. There's
Yeah,
Rishabh
okay.
from Delhi who wants to ask a question. Yes, Rishabh, are you on the line?
Yeah.
Please
Hi,
ask us the
everyone.
question.
So we are debating always about the women's security. Why the government is not taking more stringent steps about the women's security?
Yes.
Yeah, and laws. I believe laws should be more stringent.
Okay, more stringent. All right. So, would you like to
I
answer
think
this?
I completely agree with you, because I myself was going through certain provisions of Indecent Representation of Women's Act. I mean, their punishments are almost just like 2 years, and they're all bailable. Even under IT Act, when I see the provisions, most of them again cognizable but bailable. So this is not an enough deterrent for a cyber criminal, or any kind of criminal rather. So I think the punishments really need to be more stringent. At least a 5-year term or more would be a
Chandra,
good.
right, Karnika, would you like to answer Devanshu's question?
Well, I think it's a wonderful suggestion. It's something that is a welcome move. I think if you ask any woman, she would really well appreciate
Absolutely.
his suggestion.
Yes.
Is well taken, and I might as well think
It's
about
also the
these,
need
and
of the day.
maybe I could develop one. So this is something which is very, very, I think, required, because although it doesn't, I mean, people would easily escape attention and think that this is something which is already there and we ought to know these things. But yes, I think in today's age and times, when we are talking about netiquette and net culture, and how ethics should be followed on the internet, people are actually, the ethics and the values are dwindling in the society, and we need to re-highlight them, I would say.
Absolutely.
And in
Focus
order
on them
to
again.
re-highlight, I think the value system needs to be again, overhauled, in the sense that women, as she could be perceived today, is very different from what one would do, perceive women as 50 years ago in India. The entire image, and even otherwise as a human, the element of the thought that she is a human being too is something which we need to revalidate.
From ethics, let's come down to laws. What are the cyber laws that govern these apps? What if the SOS implicates a wrong man, or the app is misused to implicate an innocent person, for instance?
Okay, now in many cases, you see, there are, for example, there's a bomb hoax, there's a false call, and one would, say that this is something that is falling in mischief, or something could involve identity theft, because if you're using somebody's phone number and flashing the particular, notification as if it's coming from the original sender, but it's not coming from the original sender, or his phone is misused by somebody, then it is a case of identity theft. And that's punishable offense under the IT Act as well, and the IPC, and up to 3 years of term, or even more. So this is something which is punishable. Similarly, cheating by personation. If you're impersonating somebody and you're posing as someone else, is also an offense under the IT Act.
Right.
So it's something which is punishable. One cannot go scot-free.
Right.
I'd like to add a point that
Yes.
if a public functionary, like a police officer, who is empowered by the IT Act, to take action, gives out, reveals unauthorizedly any personal information of a particular person who has given him the information, that act is also punishable offense.
Right of privacy.
It's section 72 of the IT Act punishes such acts, and that's something which is actionable. A lot of time women don't know that whether any SMSs or any Facebook comments can also be taken to the court as evidence.
Yes.
Now, digital evidence, whether it is in the form of audio, video, or any SMSs, they're all admissible in law, as long as the authenticity of it is maintained.
Right.
So
Right.
they're all admissible.
Right. We have another caller, Sumit Kumar from Chandigarh. Sumit, would you like to ask your question? Yes.
मैम मैंने ये पूछना है कि जो फेसबुक पे जो फेक आईडीज बनाते हैं जो
Facebook की बात फिर. हाँ. जी.
तो फिर मैम फेसबुक पे फेक आईडी बनाने के बाद फिर वो उनको तंग करते हैं दूसरे जिनकी ओरिजिनल फेसबुक आईडी होती है, तो इसके बाद अगर उनकी कंप्लेंट लॉग हो भी जाती है कि साइबर क्राइम पुलिस स्टेशन में जाके, तो उसके ऊपर कौन सा एक्शन ले जाता है? क्योंकि फेसबुक फिर बाद में मतलब कि उस आदमी को पकड़ सकता है, या सिर्फ उसका अकाउंट ही मतलब कि डीएक्टिवेट या अकाउंट उसका बंद कर सकता है?
Yeah, it is possible to.
Is it possible?
It is possible to find a particular person who has done it, because अगर हम, should I answer in Hindi?
Yes, please, please.
Okay. अगर हम फेसबुक पर्टिकुलर यूज़र जो रजिस्ट्रेशन है उसका डिटेल ले लें अगर हम फेसबुक से, तो वो हो सकता है, लेकिन फेसबुक डायरेक्टली कंप्लेनेंट की कंप्लेंट पे क्या एक्शन लेगा, वो उसे ब्लॉक कर सकता है। डेफिनेटली वो पेज हटाया जा सकता है। 36 घंटे के अंदर अंदर फेसबुक को ये करना होगा आईटी एक्ट के हिसाब से, अगर कोई जेन्युइन कंप्लेंट है। लेकिन अगर वो कोई एक्शन नहीं लेते तो कोर्ट से इंजंक्शन ऑर्डर भी लिया जा सकता है। इसके अलावा क्रिमिनल प्रोसेस जो हमारा है, अगर हम पुलिस में एफआईआर करें तो कंप्लेंट के बाद उसकी कार्रवाई होगी और उस पर ये देखा जाएगा, फेसबुक से ये इन्फॉर्मेशन मांगी जाएगी कि किसने ये रजिस्टर किया, किस आईपी एड्रेस से हुआ और किस लोकेशन से हुआ है। जब वो डिटेल मिल जाएगी तो उस पर पूछताछ करने के बाद उस पर्टिकुलर पर्सन तक पहुंचा जा सकता है, ये हो सकता है।
You know, Karnika these days is considered very cool to, cool
Yes.
by young people, also young girls definitely, to post all their information, their location, if they're holidaying, they'll post pictures on the net, and also by way of making new friends. Is it safe to give that kind of information?
No, I totally disagree. It's not safe at all, because it's something that they don't realize those photos are actually morphed. When we handle these cases, we understand the kind of information which is posted by them is just harmless, but what comes out of it, what a criminal will do with those pictures is something that we see. Photos are simulated, they are morphed, they are misused elsewhere for commercial profits or for self-gratification purposes, and a lot of times this could even lead to thefts or burglaries in your house, because if you're actually putting out this information that you're alone in the
Somebody
night,
may be stalking
your parents are out,
Yes.
and you're going to be going to an X place, then what happens to your home or to you is something that you're leaving in the hands of anyone who has access to your Facebook account. And a lot of times people just add people just for the sake of getting numbers. They are connected to so many people, but then who
It's
are
a
those
number of
people?
it's a number of
It is
likes.
the number of likes, but
likes,
who
the
are
number
those
of
We're
people?
competitive about it,
Should they or
Yes.
not have access to this kind of information?
Yes.
This is
Yes,
something which people ignore. I think she's referring to the Adnan murder
In the
case.
Adnan murder case.
The son of a businessman
Yes,
from Bombay.
yeah, this is
and,
for our viewers.
He had this posted on, he had an account in Orkut, and Orkut is a good social media
Right.
platform again. So there he posted and he made friends with Angelica. There's a person called Angelica, but the person was not Angelica, it was some group of friends who allegedly actually asked him to come at a particular point, and he met them. They kidnapped him and murdered him. That's what has happened. So I mean, the social media is being misused and abused in a
Yes.
lot of
And
ways.
there is a lot of anonymity.
Yes.
You
Yes.
don't know whom you are talking to.
Absolutely.
And
what
another
he is.
point which is there, key loggers. The people are putting key loggers in social media platforms or music sharing websites or movie sharing websites, where certain malware gets embedded into their systems, which even triggers automatic access to a webcam and would take secret web shots. So those computers which are in, say, in the bedroom of a child should not be there. And then there are a lot of cases where from the system a lot of personal information is being taken out by the criminal and is taken away somewhere else without the child knowing this system is infected. So children like to, or even women like to, just download a lot of videos and without doing any antivirus checks. So
Right.
a lot of times you ignore the value of antiviruses, which is
Right.
important.
Can these cyber laws operate overseas too? You were giving me the example of
there
the
was,
case you were handling.
Although India has not signed the Cybercrime Convention, but then there have been cases where if there is a foreign website involved, we can block those pages through a court order here. If we don't want to involve the police or the court, we have sent notices to certain websites, the website registrars who have registered the domain name and the hosting companies to block certain defamatory material about one US citizen. It was Indian citizen but staying in the US. She was being harassed by ex friend of hers, and that was from Pakistan, and a lot of defamatory information, lot of her personal passport, letters and everything online, and that was causing her a lot of trauma. So she had no means to even get to India and or to Pakistan to get her legal recourse. So when we intervened, we just sent legal notices to the website registrars and the hosting companies, who immediately blocked and suspended all these from the net.
Right.
So there are remedies other than even sometimes legal remedies through court intervention or